In Grassy Key, Florida, wildlife officials have caught a 5-pound rat. It's been identified as a Gambian giant pouched rat. These animals carry monkeypox, relapsing fever, and the plague. They can wipe out whole fields of crops. And if they're unleashed on the mainland, the consequences could be catastrophic.
Here on this island, the conditions are really harsh, and they're not really favorable to the rat, but they're still spreading. And if they got to the mainland where conditions are favorable, they would just spread rapidly.
So far, these rodents have only been identified on one island, Grassy Key, and wildlife officials want to keep it that way. But it may be too late. A road crew has just found a 4.5-pound dead Gambian pouched rat on Islamorada, 22 miles west of Grassy Key.
We're not sure how it got there. Our feeling was it either hitched a ride in a garbage truck or someone relocated a rat illegally.
It's 4 islands closer to the mainland, and it increases the odds that this local rat invasion could get out of control.
Gambian rats on the mainland would be found in agricultural areas, but they would also occupy our cities because they can take advantage of the food and cover and other resources that people make available for them unintentionally.
One unusually massive rat has already been spotted outside New York City. Could it be the Gambian giant pouched rat? Remember, the entire population in Florida came from 8 domestic rats released into the wild.
Hopefully, our actions will prevent the Gambian giant pouched rat from getting to the mainland. If it gets to the mainland, it can spread along the coast northward because it's fairly tropical, maritime influence climate, and it should do very well.
Wildlife officials are on the move to hunt down every single rat on the island. They set 200 traps and check them every morning. Parker Hall and Scott Weiss are making today's rounds. The traps are baited with the Gambian pouched rat's favorite food, cantaloupe.
Nothing in this later. Looks like that peanut butter may need.
Peanut butter will attract these animals to a spot where they are in range of a stop-motion camera.
I need to line this camera up. We'll get peanut butter out, and hopefully we'll get a picture with this motion-activated camera to alert us if there's any rats in the area.
Whatever kind of creature happens by, the camera snaps pictures.
That was good.
If the Gambian rat is one of the visitors, then Parker will know he's got a good spot to set traps. And indeed, he does.
Oh, Scott, looks like we got another one.
Yeah, no.
I'll mark it on GPS.
Their work is important here. If one pregnant female is left on the island, the Gambians will continue to breed.
I got a little female there. We'll get some more crap in here. We'll cover this area good.
The team will survey Grassy Key until the area remains rat-free for a couple of years.
As soon as you get set, line me up and I'll get this back.
When it comes to eradicating rats, wildlife officials consider a 99% success rate, 100% failure. For urban areas lying north of the Florida Keys, from Miami to Manhattan, the stakes are dangerously high.
Giant pouched rat poses more serious threats than Norway rats even. It can cause a lot more damage, consume a lot more food. So if they spread northward, we're facing some serious threats.
There are creatures out there that make even the Gambian giant pouched rat look as small as a bug. Animals that if they spread across the U.S. could quickly take over. Yes, the world's biggest rodent is still out there. Will it be coming soon to a dark alley near you? And what about the rat seen in New Jersey? What was it? And will it make its way into New York City? Rats. You don't have to be squeamish to get a little jumpy at the sight of these creatures. Rats carry deadly diseases like salmonella and monkeypox. and they overrun areas from India to Alaska. They prowl in the night, thrive on trash and human waste, and once they move into an area, they're almost impossible to eliminate. Now, an exceptionally huge rat has been spotted on the outskirts of New York City. Was it just one stray supersized rodent, or a sign that a big wave of mega rats is ready to take a bite out of the Big Apple?
It's something to think about a 1.5 pound rodent running around your home, but think about a 6 or 7 pound rodent running around. That probably would send shivers up anybody's spine.
So what kind of rodent is lurking on the outskirts of the city that never sleeps? What if it's the Gambian giant pouched rat, which regularly weighs in at 5 times the weight of a sewer rat?
It could be that there are Gambian giant pouched rats living in New York right now, hopefully in captivity, but you never know when something's going to happen.
The largest Gambian giant pouched rat maxes out at 7 pounds. That doesn't seem big enough to beat the enormous rat spotted in the subway by the New York City firemen.
It looked like a small dog. It actually turned out to be a gigantic rat. It was a big rat I've ever seen.
What else could it be? What if it was one of the huge rats that are often seen on the internet? Well, the chances are pretty slim it's one of these.
It's very, very unlikely that this was an untouched photo. For one thing, if there were a rodent that big, I would know about it. Aside from that, just looking at it, we can tell that it's very likely that this is not a real animal. As animals get progressively larger, we see, for example, that the eyes get progressively smaller, proportionate to the rest of the animal. Well, this has got very large eyes. There's just no way that this animal could have these body proportions and be the size that it appears to be relative to this man. It's not possible.
What if the New York area rat was one of these? A species that lives in New Guinea.
It's a very big animal. Probably weighs, about 3 pounds, I would guess. They've got a small eye, small ear, and they've got pretty big, sturdy hind legs. Those probably weighs, about 3 pounds, I would guess. They've got a small eye, small ear, and they've got pretty big, sturdy hind legs. Those are all the kinds of things that we would associate with a large rodent. This is a photograph of an animal that unquestionably is real.
But that rat is still too small to match the account of Ratzilla. Could that metropolitan area mega rat actually be a member of the largest true rat species in the world today? Fortunately, no. This creature only lives high in the treetops of a beautiful Asian cloud forest.
The largest rat in the world, the largest living species of rat in the world, is the giant Philippine cloud rat.
For the first time, this rat has been caught on tape in the wild, and it's like nothing you've ever seen before. The giant cloud rat is found almost exclusively on the Filipino island of Luzon, in an area that accumulates 18 feet of rainfall every year.
They don't look like rats, they don't act like rats, they don't eat things that rats typically eat, and yet they are rats.
These rats appeared in the Philippines about 10 million years ago. Because of the isolation of the archipelago, they've grown much larger than the other 750 species of true rats.
This is the largest of the species by far. They weigh up to about 6 pounds. They find themselves in a place where there are very few competitors and very few predators, and they diversify to take advantage of the resources that are there.
The giant cloud rat is big, but the rat seen outside New York was even bigger. So, it's probably not a true rat at all.
The English term rat just means that it's a medium-sized animal with a long scaly tail. It's a very, very crude term that carries very little information about the relationships of the animal.
So what was the animal spotted in New Jersey? In all probability, based on eyewitness accounts, it was actually a nutria.
Now that seems pretty far north, but they already have moved up to Maryland, where they're doing considerable damage. So it's really just a hop, skip, and a jump to New Jersey.
The nutrient has already been terrorizing the New Orleans area. But what are its chances of long-term survival in the big city?
Nutria can actually survive in cities, and that's mainly because they're an aquatic animal. So if you have adequate resources, which are just waterways, lakes and rivers and marshy areas, they'll do very well.
So far, this creature has been seen on the outskirts of the city.